All right, so we're going to talk about the types of arcs in a circle. And we have major, minor, and semicircle. And what a major arc is an arc whose measure is greater than 180 degrees in a circle. Okay, so it's greater than 180 degrees. Now, obviously, it cannot be equal to, we're not going to do the full circle 360, so it's greater than 180. When you look at the picture, you also name these with 3 letters. You're going to name these. Okay, you're going to name these with 3 letters. Okay. So if I want to name major arcs here, I'm looking at major arcs. The major arcs are 3 letters. They have to be more than half the circle. They have to be greater than half the circle. So for example, A, B, D would be a major arc. If I were to go from A through B, the second point always establishes the direction, to D, that would be a major arc, and this is how I write it. Arc ABD. I could also call that arc DBA. Now, you also have what's called a minor arc, and I'm going to do this before I do the rest of them. That would be, for example, arc. Okay, a minor arc is an arc, sorry, a little distracted, whose measure, whose measure is less than 180 degrees. Is less than 180 degrees. Okay? So in a minor arc, you're going to name it with 2 letters. So a minor arc you're going to name with 2 letters. It's very important that you're careful how you name these. So a minor arc, for example, would be arc QD. So arc QD is obviously less than 180, so arc QD would be a minor arc. Arc BD would be a minor arc. Arc QA would be a minor arc. Arc AB would be a minor arc. Okay, arc BD. So these are all minor arcs. Now, why is it important? Look at one of our minor arcs, QA or AQ. I'm going to name the minor arc with 2 letters only. If I say AQ for the minor arc and I say AQ for the major arc, if I just say AQ, you have no idea what I'm talking about. You have to put that 3rd letter in. Sorry about that, kids. In the major arc, because in the major arc you have to establish direction. So you're going to start with from A, go through B. Kayla, would you be quiet, please? Go through B and you go all the way. Okay, all the way to Q. If I say AQ, I'm talking about the pink, the minor arc. If I say ABQ or ADQ, it doesn't matter as long as it starts with A and ends with Q. You have to pick a point it goes through, so it can be ABQ, or you could call it ADQ. Okay, so those are the 2 different arcs that you have. That's the major arc. You have to use 3 letters with the major arcs. If you only use 2 letters, then you are naming a minor arc. Hopefully that makes sense. Sorry, the camera fell and all that other kind of fun. The last one is a semicircle, and that's an arc whose measure is equal to 180 degrees. So a semicircle is basically half the circle as far as arc measures go. So in order to establish a semicircle, you have to know that there's a diameter there, because the diameter is what creates 2 semicircles. I'm told here that BQ is a diameter, so that's a go. That means that I know that these are semicircles. And again, with semicircles, you got to name them with 3 letters. You've got to name them with 3 letters. If you don't name them with 3 letters, you don't know which one you're talking about. So, if I just say arc BQ, am I talking about this BQ or am I talking about this BQ? You have to establish which half you're talking about. So, you actually have to have 3 letters to name it. So I'm going to start with this one. This semicircle right here. B, A, Q. So that would be arc B, A, Q. That's your first semicircle. If I was talking about, that could also be QAB. You could call it QAB also. You can name them in both directions. Then I'm going to look at arc B, D, Q. This is not my night. Arc B, D, Q. That's a semicircle as well. And then I can go QDB, which would be the same semicircle. And those are your 2 arcs that measure 180. So again, we have major arc, which is an arc that's greater than 180. We have a minor arc, which is an arc that's less than 180. And we've got a semicircle, which is exactly 180. For the semicircle, you have to have a diameter. You have to. You have to know that it's a diameter. Otherwise, you can't establish that you've created half the circle. And remember, a diameter is the longest chord in the circle, and it actually goes through the circle, through the center. So these are your 3 different types of arcs.